Are you free to play and just tired of everybody telling you that, well, if you just spend a little money in Genshin, you can have whatever characters you want? Let's be time whales. What's going on today, YouTube? This is Archadin with Level Up Together, and this is going to be our first ever Genshin Impact video. And I wish I could say that I had all the information and all the knowledge to just like hand you on a platter to be able to walk this through. But the reality is, I've spent most of my beginning of the game at this point just doing rerolls. And yeah, when I say time whale, I mean I'm not going to spend the money, so I'd like to be able to see what it takes time-wise to be able to get an account that I'm satisfied with. There's many ways that we can go through and about this. I will say that depending on what you really want will depend on how long you have to do this for. My particular goals are to get 2 5 stars within the first 50 pulls, aka the original hitting rank 7 pulls that you're going to get in the game. So I'm going to talk through how to do it. I'm sure you guys have seen the map on how to do it as well. What we're going to do is we're going to walk that map, and I'm going to show you how do we speed run this a little bit. I took a little bit of time to go like, all right, let's take this map that everybody can use and kind of have to memorize and do over and over again. And what if we just said like, how can I sprint a little faster here? How can I make up a couple seconds here and there? Because let's be real, for most people's goals, they're going to have to reroll a ton. So let's just take a look at it, and I'll show you guys how I did it. How do we go about getting those done in a reasonable fashion and getting them done quickly? Because honestly, with rerolls, you're going to have to do them so many times that the faster we can get this done, the better. Here above us and in this screen is going to be the AR7 map that's kind of been floating around the community. It's one thing to be able to read through the map and go like, oh, well, these are the places I need to go to get all the things. It's going to be just enough experience to be able to get my AR7 ability. It's another thing to actually walk the path and go, how do we do this as fast as we can possibly do, and how can we make this sort of like more fluid? I think it's sometimes easier to see it in person and to watch it than it is to just look on a map. So taking this map, I went through, I did it myself, I did it several times and tried to sort of master several different techniques to go even a little bit faster through it to save even a couple minutes. We ended up getting the whole thing done in about 31 minutes, which, disclaimer, not the fastest I've heard. I've heard of people doing it closer to like 26 and 27. I think they're nuts. That's insane. But hey, if you guys have any comments or anything like that, please put in the comments below. I'd love to be able to hear some ways to make this faster, because I'm still in the process of rerolling for my account as well. I've just become more of a master on how to reroll. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like, and I'll sort of give you my thought processes and thinking while I'm going through the run, and what you can be thinking about too to sort of make this run even faster for you. So first up, when you are creating an account, what you're going to do is it's going to pop up the login screen. You're going to click register. You're going to actually not use the email side of the register. You'll notice there's 2 sides to it. You're going to pick the one that gives you the ability to create usernames. Usernames is going to allow you to not have to create a whole bunch of email addresses, but rather you can just change your username and start again fresh every single time. You don't, but you can eventually attach an email account after you've gotten the account that you want. It doesn't seem to be that necessary because you do have a password that's attached to this, and you're going to obviously pick whichever one is going to help you remember that right off the bat. So not a huge deal. Create that account. It takes literally a few seconds. You click and accept the terms and conditions. It'll have you accept them again once it pops up to the next screen, and then you're immediately able to start the game. So go that route. Don't use the email route. It's going to be so much faster. So once you get started, things to be considering right off the bat, you're going to go straight into a video. I mean, there's really not much to it other than to say like there are just a lot of cutscenes here during the rerolling process. When a cutscene is up, you'll get used to knowing kind of where they're at, and when you need to start like sort of like spamming whatever your next button is. Whether or not you're playing on keyboard or on controller. For me, that's the B key. If you were using a PlayStation controller, it would be the circle key. Whatever it is to sort of spam through story as fast as you possibly can to get stuff done. One weird trick that I kind of found out here at the beginning is if I'm trying to do something else on my computer at the same time that I'm trying to do rerolling, I'll actually let the screen go down, work on something else, and when I see my controller vibrate, that means that it's now time for me to actually type in the name of my character. So weird little trick, but like if you're like, oh my gosh, I have to watch this same like 3-minute cutscene every single time, right at that exact moment, That's when you know, click back in, type in the name, restart it, and then you still probably have just about as much time as you had at the beginning to get to the end. So if you're like me at the beginning of the game, the first thing I'm going to do the minute that I have control of my my keyboard again is I'm going to hit escape, jump directly into the settings, turn on controller so that I can immediately start using controller for the rest of it. You'll notice I run forward and I end up just kind of taking out the blue slime. It's pretty unnecessary. You can actually just dodge around it and just go grab the things. Just be ready, and this is one of those things and sort of tips and tricks throughout any type of game like this is, if you can and you know what the button is to spam to get rid of stuff, just be ready to spam it when it's time to do it. So in my case, I'm hitting B as fast as possible, which will pop up, and then just kind of moving along. You'll notice in this game that you have a stamina bar, which is sort of like Breath of the Wild. You can see it there right on the right of your character. It's a yellow bar. It turns red if you start getting low. One of the things that you want to be doing when you're trying to sort of dash from place and area to area in this is when you know that you're about to hit another cutscene or that something's going to change where your stamina is basically going to auto regen while you're in that process. It's best to try and like get those last couple sprints just to give yourself a couple of extra seconds and make sure that you're running out your stamina bar right when you hit that thing. So you'll notice we do that here, getting up to where Paimon is. As soon as Paimon kind of like allows you out of this first little cutscene, you're just going to follow her down as fast as possible. Note that I am, again, sort of running in a way that is allowing me to sort of like regen, but also never like really keep it topped off. I do walk over to the side and grab the berries pretty unnecessarily, but it was because at one point when I just kind of ran as fast as I could down this hill, Paimon doesn't keep up, and at one point I actually ended up passing Paimon, getting down to the water part and realizing, oh my gosh, she's not even here. Like, what am I supposed to... So I had to run back up anyway. So trust me, just take a slightly wider route because Paimon takes a little bit of time here. Once you get into the water, you'll just obviously jump in, get yourself as much distance as you can when you jump in. So that way, by the time that you actually have to hold down the like sprint and use your energy, you didn't have to use energy to get that initial jump in. And then that way, right when you hit the shore again, you can sort of dash up to Paimon and get into that next cutscene. So once you're done spamming through that last part right after the cutscene, what you're going to want to do is immediately use your like quick tap elemental ability to kill the first one. Then as soon as the timer is up, you're going to want to walk up to like the other two and then just like hold down the ability. And then as soon as I kind of step back, you'll notice I step back behind the fire, hitting your ultimate to throw a tornado at them, catching all of them in sort of now a fire tornado. You can actually immediately after you hit that third one, you can turn towards the top of that island, jump off, and immediately actually start swimming right off the bat. Once you get down and around, you'll notice I jump in and I get myself to a really quick treasure chest. It's like kind of hidden right beyond that little covey. Grab that real fast, keep walking. Again, note when that dragon's going to be over your head, because when the dragon is over your head, you actually are going to be regenning some of your stamina. So feel free to sort of run your stamina out before you hit the dragon part. Let that happen, and then get back into a good rotation all the way up to the next part of the story. Again, keep walking towards the forest. There is where the dragon story starts, so get there ASAP. So after we get done with that quick cutscene between Venti and Storm Terror, we end up talking to Paimon again. So as soon as we're back with Paimon, again, spam through it as fast as you possibly can, and then as soon as you're able to start moving, give yourself a dash, another dash, jump up the rock, and jump a second time. You can do it without actually like clipping the edge, giving you the fastest ability to just immediately click on that tier. Sometimes if you're like a little too fast, you can click on the tier before Paimon gets up there, and then you actually have to click on the tier and Paimon. It actually takes longer. So it's a little bit hard to nail that time perfectly, but grab that. As soon as you can click through it as fast as you can, and then you'll be able to jump off immediately, and again, sort of dash yourself forward. Not too far, so just note that you can dash pretty fast directly to the part where Amber starts to come in. There will be a quick cutscene, and then immediately after that, you're going to be spamming through whatever Amber is saying as well, too. Note that when you're done spamming through all of the Amber parts, what you're going to end up doing is immediately get yourself ready. If you're on keyboard, to hit number 2. If you're on controller, to hit like the right on the analog D-pad, just to make sure that you're ready to immediately swap into Amber. You don't even have to charge the arrow. You just have to jump in and just nail that target right off the bat, and then immediately start sprinting again as fast as possible. Again, timing it well so you're getting like a good chunk of time or a good chunk of speed without actually ever really fully depleting your stamina. You'll want to make sure that you have enough stamina to climb up that rock that comes up there. And then what I do is I'll save just enough that at the top I can dash in, hit X on the waypoint, and then also like spam through right afterwards. So that way I can immediately come up and work on the hill of trolls up on the you see it. You end up moving forward, you get into the camp, and as fast as you can take this camp out, do it. I know, here's the one thing that I will say about this game that you'll notice consistently could probably save me some time is if I was utilizing elemental advantage more often and utilizing both of the characters and not just Amber, I just kind of get myself stuck in a rut of like, well, if I just keep hitting them with headshots, I can knock them over, so don't really get that close to me. We can get it all done. As soon as you're done with the camp, you sprint over, you grab as many of the things out of that chest as you can, spam through what Amber's going to say here real quick. If you didn't get everything like I didn't, every once in a while I will get everything. It's not very common, but if you do get everything, you can actually immediately turn and do almost like a 180-degree turn from where you start. But I have to run over and get it, as you can see, before I make the 180. We then jump up on the rock as fast as possible, and we're actually headed towards the camp. The camp where Lynn will ask you to do some cooking trials. So fastest way that I've found to be able to do the cooking trials so far is to run in the direction, get up there, spam through what she has to say at first, and then grab the materials from where that barrel is. So you'll walk over, grab the materials from the barrel, and actually before talking to Lynn, I'll actually take the materials, cook the skewer as fast as we can, because this is what she's going to ask you to do. Then you walk over to Lynn after you've cooked one. After you've done that, you can actually talk to Lynn, and then you can just spam talk to Lynn, because you're going to talk to her once, she'll give you the quest. You talk to her a second time, she tells you how good that meat skewer thing that you made is, and then she'll send you on your way. This is 125 experience that you don't want to miss here, so you want to make sure you grab this first and then move forward. Once you've completed the entire thing with Lynn, and then you actually have like started moving forward, you'll notice right here to the right side of the bridge on your way into Mondstadt, there is actually a chest that has some thorns on it. Make sure you light it on fire. You'll notice I drop a berry bunny, which just is basically just in case those stupid fire elementals decide to take a like a pot shot at you, it'll actually taunt them over to that, and then you can just take that treasure chest really easily. You should be at about rank 4 by this point. Then you're going to rush in the door as fast as you can, and Mondstadt will then have a cutscene. After that cutscene is complete, you'll jump back into, again, spamming through the content that you're going to have here with Amber. Spam through it as quick as possible, and then be ready to sort of start sprinting upstairs. So you'll notice I go directly up the middle. We keep ourselves enough energy. In fact, I keep myself a little extra energy here right before we have to climb this wall, just in case the wall gets screwed up. We run past, we activate that waypoint, and then we continue to move forward. You'll notice that as I can, and this is, again, ways to shave off seconds, is you'll notice I try to sort of hug walls. If I know what direction I'm going to be moving, I'm only going to take diagonals where I know that I have to take them. Otherwise, I'm going to be hugging as close as I can to reduce the amount of wasted steps on the way to the next thing. Is it necessary? No. Is it hopefully saving you a couple of seconds so that you can get to that next reroll? Possibly. So once we get to the top of this, I'm not sure if I do this one exactly right this particular time. It looks like I actually do, but you want to get to the point where you actually can spam out all of your energy right before you hit the top of this this little terrace, where you then start to and spam through what's going on with Amber again. So make sure, and this one's weird, when you're jumping off the edge, make sure that you use your joystick or you press W or something to make yourself move forward before you jump. I've accidentally jumped first and then hit A or in your guys' case, spacebar a second time to sort of pop out wings early. It's actually frozen me on the like movement part first that I was supposed to do first, and so it actually like locks you out from being able to actually move. Oh my gosh, don't let that happen to you. It makes getting over to Amber that much harder. So you're going to glide down to Amber as fast as you possibly can. As soon as you actually get to Amber or you're nearby, drop your wings, get rid of them as fast as possible, and then jump into the cutscene. As we're looking at this cutscene, it's kind of long, so you'll have a couple seconds of recovery time before you'll have to end up starting to fight the dragon. Once the game is about to become playable again, after that cutscene is done, you'll notice that there's a quick loading screen, and you jump right in to being able to move up and down with the character as well as a little bit side to side. What I've found for this is moving the reticle is much more necessary than moving your character. So if you can just kind of get the character out of the way and just be using the reticle as much as possible, aiming directly at its butt is seemingly the best way to get like maximum damage. Not because it, you know, takes more damage, but literally because it's like the biggest target. A lot of the wings are a little bit harder to clip every single time it comes by, so aiming in that direction gives you a lot more ease of use. So as soon as you kill the dragon, aka get it down to like 20%, it swaps into another cutscene, which again you're gonna have to wait through. And as soon as the cutscene's over, you'll end up talking directly to Amber and Kaya again. This is the first time you're meeting Kaya, and so just prepare that as soon as that's done, you're going to be spamming through text again. Now that we're done talking with Amber and Kaya, instead of jumping directly down and going to the hideout, you're actually going to cut off to the right, jump over, and you actually want to kind of find this back pillar of this building. What you can do is you can actually like spam jump up to the first terrace. You're going to wait for all of your energy to come back, and then you're going to actually, once it's back, climb all the way up. You'll notice I do this wrong, but if you wait 2 bricks or 2 brick levels beneath the second window, you can actually then spam jump up to the next area and have enough energy. I could have jumped 1 extra time with my last one, but once you get up to that, you'll wait for your energy to go up again. And then other than like maybe a couple of like quick movements, you can pretty much jump that last terrace all the way. As soon as you're done doing that, you'll get to the top. You'll be able to click on the waypoint. Once you have the waypoint, you can jump directly in front of you to pick up a treasure chest, and then fly down just slightly, same top of that roof building, like roof of the building, grab yourself that second treasure chest, jump off the edge from there. You'll be at rank 5 once you get towards the bottom, and Paimon will talk to you. But instead of having to talk to Paimon immediately, you can actually run up to the right side of that door, and if you turn at just the right angle, it will skip talking to Paimon, and when you click the door, it will actually send you right into talking to Jean and Lisa, which is another cutscene. So I'll let that cutscene play out, but as soon as it's done, you're going to be spamming through that, and you'll actually be at rank 5 and ready to do your first teleport when this is over. After that, you're going to go ahead and click on your map as soon as you're done talking to them. You're going to actually immediately teleport using that waypoint you got at like just before the Hilitroll camp. You'll click on that one, and then you'll take and turn about 90 degrees to your left, and you'll be right back into the direction of the very first temple. So run as fast as you can, jump off the edge, glide down, talk to Amber first. Make sure you do talk to Amber, just like you're going to actually have to talk to Lisa in a little bit too. Talk to her, get through it as fast as you possibly can. What I ended up doing is I started realizing that whenever you go into temples, the initial walk up and hitting on them is the X button for me. So it's X, and then it's spam B, then press X as soon as you actually see the second you see the character screen pop up, hit X again. It will actually sort of like skip that phase as fast as possible and get you directly into the temple. So just a quick way to save a little bit of time. Once you get in, immediately hit the first door, open it up, change to Amber, and you can actually shoot out both. You can actually technically shoot out both of these before you get to this point, but it actually helps that you actually walk through the door, shoot out, and allow the fire to start ticking down while it forces you to look up and forces you to walk through that other little mini cutscene it forces. Also, when you take that first corner and you know that you're going to have to get rid of all of that thorns around the corner, it's best to take the corner, pull out your bow, get yourself to the point of fire so that by the time you take that corner, you're actually able to just immediately start burning down all of that shrubbery right there. Get rid of it, walk through. It'll give you, again, more random tutorial stuff to click through and jump down. It's really important in this next area that you end up spending time just utilizing abilities as you can. The Berry Bunny is super, super good here. Also using the S3 is super, super good just for extra damage. You'll notice I don't do this super well here, but I've recently changed out the way that I do this, in that I won't knock anything away from the Berry Bunny to the best of my ability. I will actually use the Berry Bunny to taunt everything on so that I can actually turn around, get that treasure chest that is currently in that back corner that takes a second to sort of burn down. Get that early. There's no reason to like not. So there's 2 treasure chests in this particular area. All in all, this entire temple has a total of 5 chests. So make sure that you get all of them, because each one of those is going to be adventure rank experience. That's the biggest and most important thing. How you kill these mobs is going to be up to you, and how efficiently you do it is also going to be up to you as well. So utilize your abilities. Don't screw around like I did. Every once in a while, I do end up using the main character, but for the most part, I don't. So grab the chest in that room. You can actually shoot the fire pillar that sort of exists, that's going to put all of the wind to take you to the last part of the temple. You can shoot it through the door before you walk through. But if you go through the door, it's going to put you in a tutorial, and it's going to have you like miss that first shot. So make sure you take the shot, make sure you're all lit up, get the thing, then do the tutorial, shoot up, run in all the way once you get to that little green egg at the top, and then take it out. That's the first temple. After that, talk to Amber, because she's going to force the story through. You'll talk to her real quick, grab that final chest, and then get out of there as fast as you possibly can. As soon as you get out of that temple, you're going to immediately turn to the left. You're still going to be using Amber, and you're going to pop off immediately towards that very first chest you're going to. Once you can see it in the distance, you'll see that there's obviously thorns on it. As soon as you got a clear shot, take the shot before you get close to it, so that way all the fire has the chance to burn it down before you get to it. As soon as you do, run forward a little bit further. You don't have to charge up again for fire. Your goal is basically to just take out all of those three little like circle globules as fast as you can, and open that chest that spawns from it. Now you'll notice I screw up. I actually don't pop my wings when I need to get the Animoculus that's right off the edge that you jump off to, and so I ended up climbing back up. That wasted at least 10 seconds probably. I would say if you can just not do that, be a little more careful to make sure you jump down, grab it. It's going to save you some time. Immediately start walking towards the statue of the 7 statue. Get down there. You'll notice there's an Animoculus on the way to that. Grab it. It's an easy jump. And then you just start talking to the tower as fast as possible. Once you get to the tower, you're going to spam through that as quickly as you possibly can. And recognize that even though you don't have all the Animoculus you're going to have in this run, you still need to use the ones that you've gotten so far to upgrade your stamina. Not because you need the stamina, but because if you don't actually activate the temple from the like worship part of it, then you actually don't open up the wind tunnel that you're going to need to get to the next temple. So make sure you do that. After you're done with that, it's going to take you out, and you're going to have to climb the tree for the next Animoculus. You can actually jump the entire way. You'll notice I jump pretty much the entire way, run my entire mana bar out, or sorry, not mana bar, energy bar out, and then I end up jumping up from there to get to the very top of the tree. Once I get to the top of the tree, I'll use my wings. I drop down, I grab the Animoculus on the branch, and then we jump and use our wings to get out to the next Animoculus. So there's 3 of them. There's 3 of the little wind tunnel things that you need all 3 of them to actually create a wind tunnel quickly. You want to grab the one on the right first, then the left, because the left one is closer to the center one. The center one is right above the Animoculus. Grab that real quick. Make sure you drop down. I think ASAP, because I think you move a little bit faster using like on the ground than you do floating. Either way is fine. You could float out to max distance just to save yourself a little bit of energy, and then move from there too. So I'm not sure exactly which one's faster. I haven't done it enough yet to have figured that out. So not a huge deal. Start moving towards that wind tunnel that you just activated. You can skip all mobs, run directly past it, and as soon as you get to it, jump in the air, use your wings. I immediately look up from there just to see where the Animoculus is, because I have missed this Animoculus just by flying past it. So just don't miss that. The way to be able to tell what direction you should be flying towards once you're sort of trying to regain your senses is if you were to be turning in circles, you would see that there's like a blue beam coming off of the temple you're going towards. Fly towards the blue beam. That's the easiest way to say that. Don't immediately, once you actually see that you're in that direction, go right to the right of that temple, and you'll get that last Animoculus that you're going to need in this particular run. Then run back down, talk to Lisa, and once Lisa's story is done, you can actually start the temple. We are now in the final temple. The minute you walk in, make sure you sprint out every bit of energy that you can for the character that you're on right there to just immediately talk to Lisa. Lisa will automatically, once she changes in, you're going to have all of the energy that you're going to need. You're also going to immediately change to her. I end up using Lisa for most of this as fast as possible. Note that there are 7 chests in this one, and a lot of them are hiding behind boxes. So make sure when you get to them, jump down, like jump around boxes, grab the things. You'll see in this video, I hit all 7 of them. So don't, if you're watching, just pay attention to kind of like where I make turns, where I turn around. it just makes sense. The big thing in this particular temple that you'll notice is just sort of the timing on how fast you can kill mobs. I actually see the first mob after we get through getting that second chest. And you get the first mob, you actually do, I drop my, not my Q, but my ability, my extra ability, and then I auto attack it down from there, just because I think that was the fastest way using just Lisa. You'll get into the next room, and once the next room's there, which is the one that you have to activate the electricity pole, there is a chest right behind it first that I'll go to. I then activate the electricity pole, go through the tutorial, and I will actually stand. You'll notice I stand off to the side of it because I know that they're all going to spawn in a row like that. So if I can get it like that and I can get them all to spawn in that row like they always do, I can actually use the charge attack where you just like hit, in my case, it would be Yes, B, and then hold B. It's sort of just like a charged attack. It gets them down quite a bit faster. I miss a couple times, which doesn't really save me any extra time, but we didn't have to do it a second try, so that was good. As we move into the next room, again, I think with her, because everything's like chained lightning, the more you can do things in a row, the easier it's going to become. I do end up using some of my other abilities from my other characters just to sort of speed this along, because it just takes a long time, and so elemental advantage is going to help you out a lot. I do it, again, poorly, but worth at least taking a look at if you can do it a little bit faster. Once that room is cleared, you'll grab the chest, you'll move into the next room, which again is going to have a chest that's off to the side that's behind some boxes. You grab that before you move into the next room, at which point you get into the room that's going to have a giant water blob. The giant water blob one has a few more mobs than normal, and this is the room where I would suggest using all of your ultimates. In this case, I had used an ultimate, was it an ultimate? I used something in the last room that wasn't quite correct. It's nice when you have the main character having his main attack up, because then you can drop some fire, put them in a fiery tornado, as well as they're all wet, so you can basically just like go back into electrocuting with Lisa, and they're all in one spot in one tornado, so you can kill almost all of them pretty much immediately. The next level will spawn in, there'll be a couple more of them, but after that you'll just get through this room relatively quickly. After this room is done is where it gets a little bit confusing. So I've had it where it all just depends on how like timed out it is when you actually finish it. In this case, I can see that I had the ability to just jump off and kind of sprint through this without having the puzzles sort of complete themselves. Because when you touch the like puzzle completer or like door opening like module, normally that helps with those. In this case, we actually just had like really good timing that kind of worked out in our favor, where we could just rush through it without actually having it finish. Once you do that, you should have all 7 or at least 6 of the treasure chests. You're gonna rush all the way down to the final egg. You can actually grab the 7th treasure chest before the story starts, and then you'll notice the story will just kind of start right afterwards. Click through it as fast as possible and then leave the temple. You're almost done with the run. The final pieces to this entire run are, once you leave that temple, you actually immediately jump back into your map and you go back to that statue of the 7. You now have enough Animoculus to get 2 more upgrades or 2 more blessings from the actual statue, which will ultimately take you up to 7. So you'll get to 7, you'll have all your max stamina. Once you've done this, the run is over. So now it's, how do I get my resources as fast as I can? Now that you're level 7, you can go and warp back to the city. You can grab yourself all of the adventurer rewards for hitting ranks 1 through 7. So that's going to be kind of nice having all of those rewards. That should give you even more like obvious experience as well too. But most of what you need for your pulls are actually going to exist in your mailbox. So you jump to your mailbox, you actually accept everything. I'm weird, so I actually just like delete all of the messages immediately, because I love a clean inbox. I'm weird like that. But all said, you don't need to do that. It's all going to be there. And then once you're now in the ability to pull, now you have to take your chances on what you get. So once you jump into the pulls, the way that you're going to want to do this most effectively for your account, especially if you're like trying to get characters, particularly for me, I just want a couple of 5 stars. I'm going to actually pull twice on the beginner banner. I'm going to be able to, without even dipping into any other resources, I'm going to pull twice on the Venti banner. I personally want Venti. If you didn't want Venti, but you wanted to maybe have like a chance at some 5-star characters and 5-star weapons you could actually pull on the banner that has both Diluc and Jean and the extra weapons on it. That's also a possibility. It just depends on what you're looking for. I will say that after you've done those, that would be 40 pulls right there. You should have enough immediately for either 2 or 3 directly after that, just from like pulling the Primogems from your adventurer guide that you just happen to get on the way, as well as just the ones that you have inevitably that are still inside your mailbox. You should get 2 or 3 there. But the way that you get like another like 5 to almost like 10, basically giving you closer to like 50 total pulls, is if you go into the shop, you'll notice that you can actually exchange out some of the excess gems that you get. The gems are called Acquaint Feints and Intertwined Feints. Intertwined Feints are for specifically the limited banner that's currently out, and Acquaint Feints are for more of the like openly common one, aka the Jean Diluc and weapon banner. That's what you're gonna be able to pull there. So between all of these pulls, you get somewhere between 49 and 50 pulls as of October 5th, just due to all the extra Primogems that you're gonna get in your mailbox. So make sure you're taking all of these. Make sure you guys like roll every single one that you have, especially if you have like a pretty solid early start. I know it's difficult for me after I've pulled the first 40 to actually keep going from there, but hey, if you're crazy and you assume that you can maybe get some luck, like, listen, it's worth it. It takes 30 minutes to do each one of these rerolls. Why not maximize for every chance that you can? So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Something to consider when you're doing these rerolls is like, why am I even doing this over and over again? The answer is the 5-star rates are atrociously low in this game and would require so many to be able to get the 5 stars you would want to get in this game. Understand too that as a free-to-play player, unless you're planning on playing this for a very long time, the chances of you ever actually fully awakening any of these characters, and when I say fully awaken, I mean like their constellation is fully filled out, it's pretty low. So keep that in mind. Like, that's why a lot of people are playing with 4-star characters only. But in my case, I don't really care about that. I want some of these cool characters. They look sick. They have amazing abilities, and we'll find other ways to be able to work around that. So if you guys enjoy this content, love the likes, comments, subscribes. Guys, also, if you have any other ideas for more Genshin Impact videos, this is only our first one, and we'll see how you guys like it. Hopefully it ends up helping a lot of you guys out. We will see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, dudes. Peace.